Okay, this is Captain Alex Mason here, and we're back to Infinite Warfare briefly, because I just remembered we still need to do after-action reports and all this, so I'm going to start with these, since we never really looked at this. So we have the SetDef 8th Fleet, Air Combat Command, and that's pretty much it. SDF command structure, orders coming from council or individual. Destroyers act as scouting parties, maintain intelligence network, security detail, to double the Skelter squadrons, ships connected. Need to find out how. So let's we'll work our way up. So we'll start with surveillance and engagement. And I'm sorry if I mispronounce any of these names. Maudi Hamo, rank Lieutenant, vessel SDF NB Quirinus. Biography: the perpetrator of the holiday horror. He was sentenced to serve out his sentence on Lapidus when the SetDef annexed Lapidus. Like other convicts, he was granted asylum and reassigned to the SDF military with an Iron Cross for bravery. Carl Drown, Lieutenant. Vessel, SDS Ioni Chaos. Specializing in armed recon, Drown is distrustful of all communications. He goes dark after launching from the Ioni Chaos and has been reported to deliver recon data in person. Lieutenant Matthew Tovar, SDS Nero. Tovar managed to spend 6 months undercover in a UNSA SCAR flight school prior to being discovered as a SetDef agent. Following Accord protocol, Tovar was extradited to the SetDef. So this is before the SetDef UNSA war, which is the one we're fighting right now in the game's plot. I think, however, he was involved in the Succession Wars, and maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, who knows. Lieutenant Sergio Gil, vessel SetDef AFB Titan Bravo, an SDF ace pilot and squadron commander. Intel identifies Gil as the most skilled aerospace fighter in the Skelter Air Wing. Lieutenant Rulon Raymond, SDS Hellas. Biography: a ruthless combatant, Raymond has outfitted his Skelter with significantly lower caliber rounds to challenge himself against Sato pilots. Okay, that seems kind of dumb, but oh well. Junior Lieutenant David Shorn, SDS Centauri, a devout believer in the SetDef cause. Junior Lieutenant Shorn executed his own wife and children as traitors. Wow. Guy's pretty fucked up. Senior Lieutenant Omar Gattaca, responsible for high casualties from strafing runs during the attack on Geneva. Vice Admiral Thies requested he be transferred to SDS Icarus as one of its Vanguard pilots. Lieutenant Tom Szoltz, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a Slavic name. The former navigator for SetDef destroyer. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce that either. Ashereus, transferred to the SetDef carrier Centauri. I'm just gonna put his last name leads their Skelter wing. It doesn't say his last name. I'm just putting his last name there to replace his actual last name. Taylor Kurosaki, Senior Lieutenant of the Centauri, a bomber pilot during the Succession Wars. So we actually have our first confirmed Succession War vet. As the SetDef phased out their bomber fleet, he became a Skelter pilot. He employs signature flight maneuvers honed from years spent in bomber cockpits. Lieutenant Sarosa Sarkisian, Iron Cross recipient. When his Skelter was shot down in UNSA territory over Venus, he spent 2 months hiding and surviving. He lived in his downed Skelter using the cover of Venus nights, to scavenge survival supplies from nearby outposts. Possibly during the Succession Wars, it's unknown. Senior Lieutenant Suresh Malakar of the Centauri. Malakar was part of the infamous Dione Massacre, the set-def campaign to take the moon Dione from the UNSA. Malakar graduated officer training school before he was 17. Senior Lieutenant Koa Lee of the Deimos. Likened to a Navy Scar, Lei spent years as SetDef's most effective snipers, known for sending spent shell casing to the UNSA etched with his kill's name and his own. Recently transferred back to his primary discipline, Skelter Pilot. And now the Belt Squadron. Captain Taras Amin of the Cerberus. Taras Amin, kin to Captain Oren Amin, is one of the 12 scions of High Councilman Fahir Amin. Taras specializes in pincer maneuvers against UNSA airships, earning Iron Cross medals over Eris and Protus. Captain Hari Kelsa of the Krivits. In Succession Wars POW, the UNSA was forced to release Kelsa as part of the Charon Accords, which is a moon in Pluto's orbit. Captain Ryan Jones. As a sergeant during the Succession Wars, Jones was left without backup to take the most mineral-rich mining facility on Phobos. If I'm not mistaken, that is a moon on Mars, or around the Mars orbit. With his limited element, Jones seized the facility and was heralded as a war hero. Captain Yanel Kal, the youngest captain of the SetDef fleet. During the Succession Wars, Kal was amongst the SetDef's many child soldiers, recognized for leading his squad as they took and held 2 separate helium-3 harvesting facilities on Ariel. And if you guys know anything about warfare, child soldiers, is anyone from, I think, 6 to 17, is deemed illegal in the international community. Nicholas Rado of the Outer Planet Squadron. Major Nicholas Rado. Inseparable from descriptions of SetDef training methodology, one of his actual training exercises includes pushing recruits into the vacuum of space with minimal oxygen reserves and a punctured suit. Failure is death. Again, he takes it to the extreme. Colonel Young Kim. Heavily decorated from his exploits during the Succession War, he became known to his allies and enemies as Fulgur, Latin for lightning. He believes wholeheartedly in the SetDef's cause, requiring military service from all of his scions. Wing Commander Ivan Perez. Next in line to be assigned his own commission, a deep indoctrination has driven him to prove himself worthy of a ship's helm. His exemplary service beginning at the age of 15. Lieutenant Colonel Damian Nichols. Part of the forces that took over Titan, the majority of his confirmed kills were civilians focusing on soft target habitations during strafing runs. Okay, so now we go to the scouting force. Junior Lieutenant Andrew Hallerylook specializes in reconnaissance and subterfuge. A combat veteran with counter-intel experience responsible for Skelter tech advancements through stolen Sato schematics and espionage. Lieutenant Sang-Yup Kim, one of the 24 scions of Colonel Young Kim. He chose not to follow his patriarch's footsteps as a pilot. Sang earned his nickname Tonitry Thunder due to the destruction that lay in his wake over 3 tours through the Uranus cluster. Junior Lieutenant Cesar Magana, protege of Admiral Koch. I want to call him Crotch so much because he's a dick. Chief Technology Specialist directed to monitor set-def technology as it is introduced into combat. Senior Lieutenant Attila Zalani, I think that's how you pronounce it. Iron Cross recipient using his Skelter Squadron as bait. He directed his destroyers into the flank of UNSA fleet, where he initiated manual core meltdowns to destroy Sato vessels along with his own. Battle Force, Captain First Rank Oren Emin. Fought against Sato on Titan in the Succession Wars, awarded the Set-Def Iron Cross for his service on Triton, a battle distinguished by its high UNSA casualty count. Captain Third Rank Bradley Fillin, who's related to the Chaplain Fillin on the UNSA. Earthborn, Fillin is from a UNSA military family. Defected to Mars in his early 20s, we have confirmed reports that Fillin was present at the Europa incident. Captain First Rank Kosi Siada. Captain Siada is a highly respected and capable scion of a prominent settlement leader in the battle for Deimos. His patriarch was killed during the main belt skirmishes. Captain Lieutenant Radoslav Bodakov. Captain Lieutenant Bodakov, a Succession War veteran, led the infamous Dire Brigade, a penile battalion comprised of the sickest, most vicious criminals of the Set-Def. Vice Admirals. Vice Admiral Vlad Derhakov. Mars-born Vice Admiral Darchov was appointed protector of the Bontre and Moravia settlement territories after serving as commandant of Intracore, the Set-Def secret police. Vice Admiral Caleb Thies, a peer of Admiral Crotch, I want to call him. Intel points to friction between Thies and Crotch. I'm just going to replace his name Koch with Crotch every time, as they were identified as rivals in Naval College. So now, Senior Operative or Lieutenant Commander Akil-Min Raya, a Set-Def saboteur apprehended at the Aegis Tower by SCAR Team 1. Raya is a defense front commander who posed as a mechanical engineer to gain privileged access. And this is the Set-Def 8th Fleet. Here's the last one. Admiral Salen Crotch of the Olympus Mons. Crotch currently captains the Olympus Mons, the Set-Def's premier supercarrier class warship. Earlier in his career, Crotch was part of a Set-Def delegation chosen to visit International Naval War College in Also, where he found the principles of freedom inferior to the doctrine of forces he had been taught. So wait a minute, he was allowed to visit Earth even though these guys were terrorists? That doesn't make sense. Okay, so those things are done. Now we go here. Read all the after-action reports. Because, why not? But I'm going to do that in a separate video.